got an interesting topic to talk about today.
Hey, we're back.
Listen, MashUp TV is a production, okay?
We're so excited today that we have our special guest.
I'm going to say what I got to say. I'm going to say it with my chest. I ain't really. Hello. Welcome back to MashUp TV. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Jerry.
Hey, and I'm Brian.
We are so excited to be here. If this is your first time being here with us, to tell you a little bit about MashUp, we are a local nonprofit based in the Nashville area that focuses on LGBTQ people of color. We focus on health disparities and building community. And we come here every Monday to talk about things that affect Black and European people. And we invite all you are that like watching us online, whether you're watching us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. You can find us across any platform. If you missed part of the conversation, go back and watch us on Facebook or on YouTube. You go search us by MashUp Nation on any of those. Go to our website at www.mashupnation.org. And we have a really exciting topic today. What are we talking about today?
Lord have mercy. They said we're talking about the importance of Black history.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into the media conversation, can we just talk about the Kendrick Lamar performance last night? Because if we're going to talk about Black history, can we just talk about how Black history was like interpreted in the art of Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance last night? What you think about it?
Oh my goodness. I mean, that's the thing about Black history is still being made. And last night was Black history. It was definitely Black history being made. I think the fact that that Kendrick Lamar's performing, the Black Uncle Sam, Samuel Jackson, who also played, Uncle Tom, Negroes and what's
the Django? Is it the
Django? Like just all of the references and stuff. It was, for that to be happening at this time, with Trump being elected, I think it was just so many things. And I feel like we're not prepared to talk about how layered that performance was, the visualization of seeing these Black folks dressed like thugs in American colors coming together, red and blue, opposite gang signs, and coming together and crip walking in the shape of the American flag. I mean, bro.
Yes, someone said in the comments, pure Blackness served with some pettiness. Is Jerry still? Talk, Jerry. Is still echoing, y'all?
It's echoing.
And y'all let us know.
Okay.
That's okay. I think if it's not bad, we'll keep going. Let us know.
Is it real bad?
Y'all let us know how is the echo sound bad? What we need to do? Y'all tell us because we want to make sure we have because we about to talk about something real good tonight. So we want to make sure y'all can hear it sound all right.
Okay, is it better?
Hello. Somebody said yes, it's better. Yes, it's better. Okay. Cool. All right, but I had a proud moment last night. I mean, there was so much symbolism. I actually feel like I need to watch it about 10 more times, Jerry, before I can really digest it. Even though I saw some commentary online about it, it is just something just so great to see in front of the current president who was in attendance. For him to sit there and watch the history lesson and watch that Black essence played out in front of him was just beautiful. That's all I have. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when you think about that was happening in New Orleans, in front of Donald Trump, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious if y'all tell us how y'all thought about it in the comments. But when I think about the performance, it really felt like it was storytelling of history. We looking at the American flag and how they would kneel down and just that symbolism of how Black Americans literally built this country. This country was built on the backs of our people. Well, a lot of people don't even realize they don't know that because we may not even talk about it. That's why a lot of people probably didn't even get that when they saw it. And so, we just want to kind of like, let's just go into a little bit the history of Black History Month. You the historian. Can you talk about
Am I the historian? I don't like having that claim. Like, I don't think it's fair. But I will do a little bit my best to tell a little bit of the history, since we did do a little research about this. So Black History Month really started off as Negro History Week. And it was started by Carter Jewison, who is also known as the father of Black History. The father of Black History. He started it off as Negro History Week in 1926. So that's a long time. Like, we've been celebrating Black history. And it was started by an organization called the Association of the Study of Negro Life and History. I was looking at my notes at first, and all I saw were acronyms, and I was just like, I don't know what that is.
You gotta read just like DEI. You gotta read out, say diversity, equity, inclusion. You gotta read the whole thing out.
Yes. Sometimes we be using these acronyms, and I'm just like, what does that actually mean? Anyway, so it was started as an initiative from the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. This is an organization that is still going on today. They are still in existence, and they set the theme every year for Black History Month. I guess a lot of y'all didn't even know that we have themes for Black History Month. But it started in 1926 as a week. And then in 1976, 50 years afterwards, this is right after the Watergate scandal, they were trying to do things to, America was trying to act like it was real progressive. President Gerald Ford expanded Black History Week into Black History Month.
Okay.
So, good thing, Mr. Gerald Ford. Thank you so much for doing that. And one of the interesting things, does anybody know why Black History Month is in February?
Oh, my Lord.
Right, did you know that?
Because, of course, they will give us the short end of the stick and give us the shortest month of the year. Is that it? No?
No, actually, not.
Dang you. Teach me, public education. Teach me. I'm sorry. Is that that's why they were moving the Department of Education? I'm sorry, dear. Teach us.
So it's important to realize, again, it started off as a week. Mm-hmm. So Black History Week was chosen during the second week of February because it aligned with both birthdays of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln, who was the president that signed the Emancipation Proclamation. So that's why Black History Month week was in the second week of February. So when they were expanding it into a month, they just kept it in February.
I literally never knew that, to be honest with you. I did not know that. Thank you for teaching me something. See, that's why it's important that we learn. We continue learning.
Yes, that's why you should know your history.
Okay.
Yes. All right.
Now, listen, I the interesting part about this conversation when I was doing my research is that since Black History Month, it was actually a thing back in the 70s, that every president since then acknowledged Black History Month. We had no issues and what nothing until
the second comment.
From when it was from 45 to 47, now we questioning is Black History Month still a thing? And so, Jared, talk to us.
I mean, so it is fair that why a lot of people have been questioning because it is extremely confusing, like most things that this person does is just super confusing. So as you probably have heard, most people have been talking about how Black History Month is no longer a thing, is no longer recognized by the government, which is kind of confusing because if you go on the White House's website right now, you will see a proclamation from the White House of Donald J. Trump recognizing Black History Month. So where did this come from? It didn't come out of thin air. What happened was when 47 was coming into thing, and he wrote all these executive orders abolishing DEI and all that stuff. So he basically said that all federal agencies had to disband with anything that they were doing around diversity initiatives. What does that mean? That is like a problem every time you give out order or pass a law. How do you implement it? So one of the agencies, the Department of Defense, to be specific, they have interpreted that as getting rid of any diversity or like special recognition months for minority groups. So they got rid of Black History Month. They said they're not, you know, recognizing Pride Month for LGBTQ individuals. They're not recognizing Women's History Month. All of that. So that's where the rumor came from, or the understanding that we were federally getting rid of Black History Month, but the White House is still celebrating it.
That is just even crazy to think about that. That would even be a topic of conversation. Like, why is that even a priority for you all to be like trying to erase us? Like, we cannot be erased. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would that even be something that would be on the table of discussion? And I can't even believe like that an agency would actually say, well, we're not going to acknowledge that history. Well, again, back to what I mentioned earlier, this country was built on our backs. We literally are the reason why this country is what it is today. And so, like, I even think about, I went to Tuskegee University, and so anything related to Tuskegee is very special to me, Jerry. And just even here after 47, after the Second Coming, when they tried to remove Tuskegee Airmen curriculum from people who are like, learning how to be in the Air Force. Like, why would y'all do that when these men were some of the best, yes. in the air? Okay.
Yes.
And so why would y'all try to erase it? It might be a reason. I think we know the reason, but you tell me where you want to go with the conversation, because I done got
mad. This is why we have production notes.
My goodness. Thank you, Lord.
So we can stay on top, because the emotions, especially with stuff like this, is infuriating.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating. So but what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does it mean when you see the government trying to get us not to talk about Black history? Like, why is, like, your point of, like, why is that important? Why would you even think that? Like, what's your idea of why they would do that?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind, Jerry, is that, like, representation matters.
Yeah.
And when I see myself, I'm empowered.
Yeah.
When I saw my parents, go, say they were alumni, of a historically Black college university, even though I didn't go to the one they went to, I knew that I wanted to go to a Black school. I knew it was possible for me to do that. When I saw my grandmother, get her master's and take her doctorate classes, I knew that I was like, oh my God, like, I want to do what my grandma did. So I knew it was possible for me to get my education even beyond a bachelor's degree. And when we see ourselves, we're empowered to know that, yes, I can do that, or yes, I can be that, or yes, I connect with that. And when you remove, those representative figures, then I may only think what's real is what's in my environment. And, we know that maybe a lot of people who grow up in environments that, are not inspiring, that, people who they look up to are people who probably be in prison, by the time they're 20. And if that's all I got to look up to, well, then guess what? In my mind, I know that my life probably after 20 ain't gonna be nothing but, me going to prison. And I think, I hate to get really deep like this, but it's clear that there is a systemic motive behind the erasure of our people, behind the erasure of our community, because when we're empowered, we create a whole other generation of people that can, challenge them in all areas of life in the world. So that's my spiel. Am I too far off?
I know, I agree. And I think also, it is to diminish how we see ourselves, but also to help all these little young people who are not Black, so they won't respect us, when they won't see us as powerful individuals, as like intelligent beings. If you're going to diminish somebody or keep them in the back house, if you have to keep them, in marginalized groups, not only you have to convince that those people that they don't deserve more, but you also have to convince everyone else who's a part of the superior group that they are superior.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't want the young white children to know how creative and beautiful Black people are. They don't want them to understand our history. They don't want our children to understand the violence of white history and understand how cruel they were to other people. Um, so I mean, because it keeps the system going.
Mm-hmm.
So I think about both sides to that.
Yeah, we had someone in the comments said, "Spot on, Jerry," and then someone else said, "Black excellence threatens the myth of white supremacy." Woo!
Yes.
My goodness today.
Yes.
My goodness
Yes.
today. Well, we the topic was about why Black history is important and why we should continue to remember it and talk about it. And some of the things that Jerry and I discussed before this live was to focus on you know what we can do as a community really to make sure that that continues. Whether they remove it as a Black History Month or whatever they decide to do, you know, what can we do to make sure that our stories are still told and not just told but actually told accurately. Because literally without Black history, American history is incomplete. You know, without our contributions to this country, we wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't have street lights. You know what I'm saying? Might not have a running water. I mean, it's all kind of things that we can go down. And so, why do you think it's important, for us, Jerry, to continue to have this conversation and teach our history in the right way during Black History Month, outside of Black History Month? What do you think?
Yeah, there's so many important reasons why we should do that. And I think it's important, like, the more that we have content creators, creating stuff, talking about Black history, we could discuss Black history and perpetuate it through art, through like television, through like there's so many different ways that we teach and keep these stories going. And it's important for us to do that because we can't rely on schools. We can't rely on like the big news outlets. We can't rely on other people outside of us to continue to tell our story. So I think it's important, even, from us talking about Black history in our homes, telling like your little cousin, your sons and daughters, reading books, like suggesting books for like people to read, like all of these are really important and further the promulgation of Black history.
Absolutely.
Can you think about a moment when you were young that you learned something, a Black history fact that changed like your perspective or your life?
Whoa. Okay. That is a loaded question. Because to be honest with you, when I think back to like my childhood and things that I learned, or some pivotal moment, it really I knew about Black history. I learned it, but I feel like we only knew about the top names. So your MLKs, and we knew there about Rosa Parks, and we knew about the names that you hear that even if you ask a white person, they probably would say those same names. It really wasn't here until I was a full-fledged adult, and I'm even ashamed to say even how long ago this was. They're like when I learned about this man named Byron Rustin, I was like, whoa, and this is in my 30s, and I read about his contribution during the civil rights era and how important his role was, ensuring that Martin Luther King was represented in being the face of the movement. It was Byron Wilson who was behind the scenes doing a lot of the hard work. I'm so sorry, I got to tap on my computer. Thank you, Jerry. I just went into my preaching mode. The preacher started patting on the podium.
Yeah, that's exactly
what it is. I'm sorry, y'all. But thank you. That was the moment. I was like, I see myself because he was an organizer. He was somebody who could bring people together. He was somebody who, was able to, say this is what we're going to focus on and build. And I feel like that's kind of like what I did with MashUp, and I was like, and I learned about him even after I created MashUp. When I learned about him, it made me feel like, how? Like, I wish I was actually upset, to be honest with you, because I wish I would learn back a long time ago, because I probably would have created MashUp 15 years before, if I would have known. But I saw myself in him, and that just meant so much to me.
I mean, that is important. That's like going back to representation. I remember um, the first time that I learned that Langston Hughes was a gay man. And we were talking about this earlier, but I grew up in a very Afrocentric household. We were taught Black poetry and art. We were introduced to Black poetry and art at a young age. And I grew up learning Langston Hughes poems and County Cullen and James Weldon Johnson. And I wasn't until I was 18 years old, on my way to college, and I came to visit Fisk. And when I was learning about Fisk, someone was telling me about one of the oldest professors who was a white man who used to be in a relationship with Langston Hughes.
Still the teacher.
I was just like, what?
Okay.
I was like, for one thing, Langston Hughes was gay, and then he was in a partnership with a white man. I'm like, why did I never know who? It just gave me so much more context for this man's words, and even to think about the Harlem Renaissance, which was this movement from which jazz was born out of, and you have all this culture and all these people who who came out of that movement, Langston Hughes, Josephine Baker. But it was also a queer revolution, and it was queer people who lived openly during that time. And there were trans people who were living openly at that time, and that is important. And I think even growing up as a queer Black man, to know that there were people who were living openly queer and Black, and literally driving the creative force of the nation, and they were the superstars. I'm Josephine Baker was the Beyonce of the 1920s.
Before there was a Beyonce.
Before there was a
Josephine Baker.
She was pre Diana Ross. She was giving it to the girls. And this was and she was a queer woman. To think about we were a part of history, and we were changing things even back then. We were barely 50 years from slavery. So I think those facts, the context is important to know, so that we could feel good about ourselves and know that we come from greatness.
We do. Well, even, and this is, I'm still in the spirit. Even as we think about, how we led the conversation off talking about, 47 potentially trying to erase Black History Month, and how that, that trend is maybe or maybe not a thing. I can't help but, in the spirit of this conversation, think about, how we should be responsible for making sure that we're telling our stories accurately, because the reason why some of these people weren't able to say what they were able to say about their lives and only could focus on the art. It kind of reminds me of the Holiness Project, when people, in church who are the choir directors, or who do all these different things. You can are the people in gospel who made all these songs that you equal by shout out to you, that you can be the songwriter, and be the artist, but please don't say that, what you do behind closed doors, because once I can't receive that, but I can receive your gift. You know what I'm saying? And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, can we as a community, regardless of what they do on the federal level, make sure that we are including all of our community into the story of Black history, because all of our stories matter. Jerry, your story matters. One day we're gonna look back and we're gonna talk about how you came on to MashUp and how you took MashUp. We talk about it now, but we're gonna look back on one day. You are gonna be a MashUp legend, and we're not gonna let that story be forgotten. You know what I'm saying? And others in our community, Dwayne Jenkins, you know what I'm saying? Other people who have Dr. Frederica Maxwell, who we're honoring at our Giving Out Loud brunch on Sunday, February 23rd at Emerson Hall, where you can buy tickets for right now by going to our website. We're not gonna let her story, Shameless plug.
You better plug it.
You better. We're not gonna let that story go untold, and so I'm just asking us to make sure that we be responsible for our stories. Okay, that's all.
Yeah, we have to be responsible for our stories. I think also part of that is making sure that part of being responsible for our story is showing up fully as ourselves. Like I think our nephews, my nieces need to know that they have a gay uncle. They need to know what I do for a living. I think it is important for people to have context of ourselves, and we need to not hide ourselves, especially in a time like now. We can't be hidden because that is how they want to conquer us, is by making us hidden, by like pretending like we don't exist. And sometimes there's a cost to being out loud and being seen, but I think it's worth it.
It's worth it. It's worth it. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing to add. I think I done been to today. I done got a good lesson off my chest.
Oh, praise the Lord. All hearts and minds clear, as they say in the church.
Clear.
Yes.
You know what? Last thing I said, we got like one last little minute. I think we should probably start recommending books for our community to read.
I think that's a good idea.
Really just because we go to start building this library here at MashUp.
Yes.
But we're gonna start recommending books for people to read, and we can talk about and discuss it.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I actually want to start a book club. Which, maybe we could write a grant. Hey, if anybody out here in like MashUp TV land, like if y'all want to help us write some grants and stuff, you got an idea of what you like to see for community and stuff, hit us up, because we, as like Brian was saying earlier, we are a hub for Black queerness, and really we want to be a place where like all of us could come together with our ideas to help us live better. But like for real, if you want to come and help and us do work, first of all, show up to MashUp weekend.
Okay.
Come out. We got karaoke competition happening that Friday. Saturday is the MashUp Family Reunion community day. What's happening Family Reunion, Brian?
Family reunion. Listen, we got family planning experts. We're gonna have a family portrait where you come and take some pictures with your blood family, your chosen family. We got for free. Professional.
Cute backdrop.
We paid good money for that one, okay? We have J setters. We have drag show. We have an exhibit that's gonna be very mature and sex positive. It's gonna be a good time. Y'all not gonna want to miss it. I promise you not.
It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. So that's happening Saturday. That's totally free. Y'all ain't got no excuse not to come to that. Like for real, come out Saturday. At least show you face for like 5 minutes. Come see us at Plaza Mariachi. And then Sunday, we are honoring 3 amazing individuals who have done so much for the community: Sheldon Diggs, Alua Toby, Adawan, and then Dr. Frederico Maxwell, who we referenced earlier. These are all amazing people who've been doing activism work in the Nashville area for a good while. And we are coming to honor them for our annual Giving Out Loud brunch. Now, we skipped 2024. We're coming back at the beginning of 2025 with this. This is always an amazing event. And y'all do this all the time. Y'all don't buy your tickets, and then y'all gonna show up at the door, and like, we may not have no food for you.
We sell out every year.
We say it like every year. Go ahead. And like, we try to give you a good deal. The ticket's $80. You're gonna get some good food. Like I'm telling you, the menu is fine.
The entertainment gonna be on point.
We got live entertainment.
The ambiance.
The ambiance is nice. I'm up here putting flower decorations to put together now.
Can I just
say starting already?
Can I just say one more thing? Because I know we're almost done. We have everybody who comes get valet parking, and you ain't even got to pay for the valet parking.
Look, everybody who comes to our events gets treated like royalty. You get the VIP experience.
Come on,
just like showing up. Like we treat everybody good. Ain't no big eyes and little U's. Come.
We'll see y'all there.
All right.
We love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we will be back next Monday, same time. Okay.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Holla.